Hello and welcome to the Action Coach Business Spotlight. I'm John Boggis, and with my wife, Lorna McAteer, we run Action Coach Cambridge, helping businesses right across the Cambridge region. And with me today, I have Warren Whitfield. Now, Warren is the founder and managing director of Modern World Business Solutions, and also the founder and managing director of Tappledo. So just to kick things off, Warren, would you give us some background on your businesses?
Yeah, sure. So thanks for having me, first of all. So I'll start with Modern World Business Solutions. We are a fintech payments business that offers a white label platform for any reseller of merchant services in particular to enter into that particular field without going through the due diligence and the red tape that you'd normally need to become a registered ISO. So we take over all of that side of the business, and we put it all together on a very transparent platform that we then distribute to white label partners that allow them to get access to that market space. In terms of Tappledo is a business that is owned as part of the Modern World Group, which is a table ordering solution. So back in COVID, when I'm sure you're familiar with table ordering solutions, you would have probably used one where you couldn't go to a restaurant without actually ordering on an app. So we obviously we've got a development house in here in Cambridgeshire, so we made use of them to develop our own platform that we could then resell to our network of resellers and across the country. So we founded Tappledo with inside that period as well.
Okay, fantastic. And how long have you been going for? How long's Modern World been going for in Tappledo?
So Modern World was founded in 2018 in its traditional sense. So we are we're what's called a payments ISO fundamentally. And what that means is we're an independent sales organisation of another acquiring bank. So traditionally what would happen with ISOs is that we would employ salespeople to knock on doors and self-employ salespeople. So when we first started, we were exactly one of those, and that was in 2018. We had a couple of bumps in the road for maybe a year to 18 months, and then obviously COVID came, which was a very big bump. So we needed to change our business model, and that's when we changed into the fintech platform and started to create a platform. So in its modern sense, the business has been going around 2.5 years, but if you look on Companies House, then it's 4 years in. 5 years.
How many staff do you have at the moment, Warren? How many?
Staff-wise, we have 18 in our office in Cambridgeshire, and we look after a network of around 800 resellers that are all over the country. So staff-wise, employed by Modern World, 18 in our head office, and then network of 800 resellers.
And who's your customer? What sort of customers do you work with?
So our customer would be a reseller of payments. So it could be a payments, it could be anybody that's got a similar clientele that can resell to payments. So let's say you are a telecoms business and you want to introduce another sales channel to your business, and you want to introduce payments to your customers. They might be one of our customers, a payments company, or an accountancy practice maybe, or any business that sells to SMEs really, and wants to introduce another channel to their own offering. But then their customer would be anybody that accepts payments. So a butcher's, a pub, a restaurant, a nightclub, a cafe, and all them types of businesses are inside our portfolio.
Okay. And when you were growing up, is this what you always wanted to do, Warren?
No. I can't imagine many people when they grow up say, "I want to own a payments company." It's I always knew that when I was growing up, I was always going to work for myself. I wasn't blessed academically. To say that, we always joke with me and my friends that my exam spelt fudge, and my exam results spelled fudge, and that's the reality of it. So I always knew that I would have to cut my own cloth. So I've always worked for myself, or I've always tried to generate my own funds. So obviously I have several businesses, as you alluded to before the interview started. And we sort of fell in. The previous business to this one put us in a position where we could invest in other businesses. And this payments business was a result of an investment. And then I got into the hot seat myself, and I really fell in love with what the business is all about, and trying to change the perception of an industry like the payments industry has got a tainted reputation for scrupulous salespeople, and I wanted to create a platform that could really help enhance that reputation across an industry. And I think we're getting there now.
Oh, fantastic. And what would you say has been the kind of the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome?
COVID. In
Yeah.
terms, without a shadow of a doubt, like our business at the time when COVID came relied on our salespeople knocking on doors,
Yeah.
and obviously when COVID came, there was no doors left to knock. So we needed to pivot really, really, really quickly and be really creative against how we were going to get leads into our business with a zero cost of acquisition, because we couldn't afford to spend thousands of pounds on PPC or SEO. We really needed to think outside the box a little bit. And COVID was our biggest challenge. Having said that, though, we are in a position now where if COVID didn't come along, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in now, which is we're a very, very fast growing business. We're going to carry on growing for the next 2 to 3 years. We're making the right noises in a very, very crowded sector, starting to prick the ears of some companies that we want to, and disturb a marketplace that we really set about disturbing. So if COVID hasn't come, then we wouldn't have been able to do that. But that's definitely was the biggest challenge.
Yeah, and for you and for lots of other people as well.
Yeah, it was tricky, but it's obviously, the best places are not easy to get to, are they? So it's part of our journey.
Yeah, and again, lots of people had to pivot as well. So
yeah,
it sounded like you did a fantastic job of pivoting the business.
In hindsight, we have. Yeah, it's not for, like, to be fair. We've obviously in lockdown we had everybody on furlough, so it was difficult. But as we started to bring people back in, I couldn't have asked for a better team around us as well. That's really stuck with us and seen the journey of where I wanted to get to, and they really bought into the journey. And I think it's really important to say that without that, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are now. So although it's an idea that I had and sort of laid it out, and this is where we need to get to, without people actually believing in that, and they have been amazingly supportive throughout that journey. Probably 3 years ago, we wouldn't be in the position we are now. So you have got to have a bit of luck where people stick with you as well, and I've been lucky enough to go through that.
Yeah, but it's also a testament to you to creating an environment that people are excited to be part of. So
yeah, thank you. I think we've managed to do that. Now it's a nice place to come to work, and it's exciting because obviously not one day is the same as the next. We're growing incredibly quickly, so it's really a really nice place to be. And sometimes, as you probably know, when you're building a business, you never sort of sit back and look at it and go, "Oh, it's come a long way in them 2 years." But I did it only the weekend. Actually, I sat back and looked at the numbers and the staff count and what it means, and it has come in. It's an incredible growth journey that we're all very proud of.
It's really important to take time to look at those things and to celebrate the fact that you've come so far. Congratulations!
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, we're excited by the next 3 years. Who knows where it's going to go?
Yeah. So, what would you say have been your biggest learnings in kind of business and in life, Warren?
Well, good question. So failing, I think, to be honest, I think I got my biggest learnings from failing. I think I've had a few businesses before. The business prior to this was a great success, and it still is. And my ex-business partner's doing a brilliant job in carrying that on. But before that, I was involved in lots of bit part businesses, trying to sort of learn my trade, so to speak. And I had a couple of furniture businesses that done great. I got up to sort of 7-figure turnovers. But I was young. I was 23, 24 and naive, didn't really understand the economics of business and what you really needed to be a success. So it was all about sort of putting the sales into it rather than actually the operations and what it actually meant. And that was a harsh reality when that business had to close with the 2008 recession. So that was my biggest learning, was when that business failed. It took a lot of work to get to that point. So I had it between the ages of 18 and 23. So it was 5 years of hard work building something up that was immediately taken off me overnight. So that was my biggest learning. And what was the other question?
Oh, and what have been your biggest learning in life? That's kind of business.
Well, that probably was my biggest learning in life, to be fair, is to make sure that you're on the pulse all of the time and don't take anything for granted. And obviously look after and in business, especially build a team around you. And I suppose it's the same in life. build a team around you that have absolutely not only got your back, but absolutely have got the business's back as well. And they understand exactly what their job is, and they know exactly what they're doing. And don't muddy the waters between different departments, etc., like that. And keep your nose out of things that you don't know about is my biggest thing. So I'm not very good. I'm very good at identifying opportunities and executing them. But then when it actually comes to the operational side of a business, probably recognizing where you're not so great is a major part of life, not only business, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah, it's a great one, Warren. Employ people who are better than yourself.
100%. I'm more than happy to sit here and say that I'm surrounded by people that are better than me at their particular job, and that's exactly what I want to carry on doing. As we grow now, we will probably step on the gas a little bit now and get to sort of 30 by the end of the year in terms of employees, and all of those people I want to be better at their particular job than I could do it. So it's definitely a good way to set the bar.
Yeah, fantastic. And who would be the first person that would come to mind when you think about success, and why, Warren?
Well, first person that would come to see this is a tricky one for me. Do you know what it'd be? This is going to sound really, really cheesy, and it's not meant to. And you'd probably expect me to say someone like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or someone like that, and it generally isn't. It's not. It's my mum.
Yeah,
it's my mum. My mum. Because she defines success in a completely different way to what you probably would do, or what normal people probably would do. She's happy. Her success is defined by her happiness, and it's not correlated to any type of wealth. My mum and dad aren't wealthy at all. They're hard-working family. My dad's a greyhound trainer, and my mum doesn't work, and she never did. She just done part-time, but she never ever. She was always happy, and I was always happy. And I was brought up in a really happy home, which wasn't a wealthy home. And so I would, when I look at success, I want my family to look at me the same way as I look at my mum and dad, as to someone that done well for them. They never want for anything, but as long as I'm there and as long as I can create the same memories for them as that my mum and dad did for me. So it, bit of a cheesy answer, but I mean it actually, and I don't think of like Peter Jones or Elon Musk or anything like that. It's I just want to go to work, be happy with what we've got, and keep building something that I really want to make a difference to an industry. And the money will be a byproduct of that ultimately when we get to the point when we exit.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's a cheesy answer at all, Warren. I think it's a fantastic answer, and people forget that actually the whole point is to be happy.
This is it. Like sometimes the pressure does get the better of me sometimes when like you see something coming in that you're not expecting, or you get a bill that you're not expecting, and you're like, well, where's that come from? And the bottom line is that we do this because we're all chasing the dream, don't get me wrong, but I think if I think what I'm getting at is I enjoy the chase more than the pot of gold at the end. It's I've been doing this for so long that it's almost like a hobby. I think I would do it if the money wasn't there. I think I'd still do it because I enjoy the building of it, and it makes me happy, which ultimately makes my family happy. And I think that's what my mum and dad did, but obviously they didn't have that entrepreneurial edge to do something themselves, but they still done jobs that just made them happy, which ultimately made me happy in my home life. And I think that's the difference, is that I'm trying to do this job because it makes me happy. I'm aware of the monetary effects it will have in the long term, hopefully, if we do everything right, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I actually enjoy making a difference in an industry, and I also enjoy myself being happy, and which leads to a happy home at life. Happy home.
Absolutely. And what does the future look like for Modern World Business Solutions? You know, what do you see as the main challenges as you move forward?
So we'll obviously continue to grow. Now, innovation is obviously very, very close to my heart and how we develop our business. And luckily for me, I don't find it difficult to innovate with inside the sector that we're in. I think it's incredibly archaic. So for us, we've got a very, very talented CTO that works for us as well, which is a really blessed. We're blessed to have him. So the future looks like continued innovation. continue bringing things to market, in not only in terms of resellers, so our resellers will have better products, better access to banks, quicker access, more transparent reporting, which will ultimately benefit merchants as well, so customers as well. And then the long-term future is to create something that's merchant-facing as well. So so merchants can self-serve themselves into our platform, so we give them more transparency, so they don't have to deal with self-employed sellers that they feel as though have been missold. Or so we want to go down that route. And then ultimately, in the end, we'll end up probably, and everybody, I'm not breaking any secrets by saying this on an interview, but all of our staff know we're all gearing towards the same thing. Ultimately, I'd imagine we'll exit the company within the next sort of 5 to 10 years. And if the staff aren't wanted to keep on, I'm sure I'll take them all with me again on my next venture, whatever that might be.
And what challenges? Do you see any challenges in the next few years as you go through this kind of period of accelerated growth?
I don't see challenges. I don't accept challenges. I don't. Inevitably, there will be challenges along the way, but we'll just overcome them as they come. I've been doing it for too long to look at challenges and get scared by them. I see it as exactly that. It's a challenge. When something comes along that we don't expect, we'll deal with it. And the biggest challenge for us now, if I'm being completely honest, is finance. Like, we are growing at such a fast rate that we're almost, like, we've got 17 employees. We're almost at the point where we could probably have 50 employees with the amount of work that comes in, but we can't afford to employ 50 people. So that's the challenge at the moment. Whilst we need to keep a certain level of service to all of our resellers and make sure that they're happy using us and they're not looking elsewhere. And that's the challenge at the moment, is getting that balance right. We're not VC backed. We haven't taken any large sums of investment. This is all self-generated. So that's where we've got to get that balance right about having the right staff count, the right head count, to be able to sort of cope with the demand that's coming into the business, which is quite hefty at the moment.
Yeah. A really good challenge to have, but a really important one.
Yeah, it's a nice challenge. I'd much rather have that one than no work coming in and us having too many people sitting here twiddling their thumbs. So it's we're in a nice spot at the moment, and long may it continue.
Yeah. What would you say would be the best piece of advice that you would give to the 18-year-old you?
Oh wow, persistent. I'd say don't give up. Like, it's a massive one. Like, the amount of times I get it said to me a lot, where my parents were telling me to quit and go and get a job. Even my wife in lockdown, when I was like, no, I was in my back. My wife would probably, she would laugh, but she would. In lockdown, I was sitting in my back room in my house. We live in an old barn, so it's all on one floor. I was down the bottom end of the house. She was often in the living room or the kitchen, and so she could hear my speech. And obviously, I was bringing in new partners, and I was saying the same thing over and over and over and over, but it wasn't bringing in any money. So she would often say, I can recite your speech to you. And she would often say to me, just go and get a job as like an Amazon delivery driver or something like that to bring some money in. And I'm not for 1 minute saying there's anything wrong with doing that for 1 minute, but I was absolutely adamant that I wasn't going to go and get another job. I was absolutely convinced with what I had set out and what this business was going to achieve and what it was going to get to. And if I didn't have that, so in answer to the question, persistence, self-belief, and just literally tunnel vision. Don't believe it like what other people are selling you. The amount of times we've been told that this is a bad idea, it will never work because it's never been done before. What we are is effectively an aggregator of merchant services. So historically, banks will only partner with 1 or 2 companies. They won't partner with one. Like, you won't see one company partner with everybody. So I've been told a million times that it will never be done. It can't be done. Why are you even looking at doing it? Go and get another job. And I just blanked all that out and really believed in what we were doing. And luckily, obviously, it could have gone completely wrong and fell flat on its face. But luckily, in our position, it didn't. So I'd say that is many a times in the past, I've listened to other people's opinions and not done something. Yeah. Where, as I've got older, I've just, if I think something's right, and it happens now, even if I think something's right and the team around me are saying, not sure about this, I trust my entrepreneurial gut to say, well, look, if it goes wrong, it's on me. And I think they would all probably say that 9 times out of 10 it doesn't go wrong. So it's that, I think, follow your gut. Don't necessarily believe in the people that are around you that are telling you no. Just close your eyes and do it as quick as you can.
It's a great piece of advice. Lots of people are put off by people around them naysaying.
Yeah.
You're
And
absolutely right.
understandably so, you know, it's difficult to make that leap, isn't it? When you've got something going, execution's the biggest part of anything, isn't it? Like it's easy to have an idea, everyone's got an idea, but it's the actual making that idea happen, which is incredibly difficult. And if you listen to everybody sitting on your shoulder telling you how difficult it is, no one would ever do anything, would they? So it's that would be my piece of advice to anybody, is like, if you think it's a good idea, execution is the answer.
Yeah. And just before we finish, Warren, is there anything else we should know about Modern World Business Solutions? Anything you're working on at the moment? Anything that it would be good to share?
One of our USPs, so if anybody's listening that actually has got a B2B client base that they want to introduce payments into their own channel, there is literally, the way our business is structured is so that there is a very, very little barrier to entry. There's no cost, so in terms of a setup fee, there's no management fees, there's no monthly subscriptions, there's no per application fees. How we make our money is a pure revenue share of the merchants that you bring to the table via the platform. If there is anyone listening to this that would like to become a partner of ours and would like to start introducing payments to their own network of people, then please get in touch with us and we can look after you that way. And obviously there is full training given, so we don't just expect you to get logged in and start selling. There's a training program as well that you can be part of. You'll have your own partner manager to hold your hand. And like I say, payments is an absolute booming industry at the moment. Every business in the world takes payments, whether it's on the rails of Visa and MasterCard or whether it's open banking. Every business out there takes payments. So it's a great business to get into if you're looking at something to get into to either supplement your income or just go full blown at it as a payments reseller.
Yeah. And if people want to get in touch with you, Warren, what's the best way for them to do that?
Probably be the best way would go to visit our website, which is www.mwbsolutions.co.uk. You can read about everything that we do on there in terms of all the different products and services that we offer. You can also meet the team and look at some videos about our platform and everything like that. And you can get in touch via that platform, via that website on pretty much every page, which will come into our partner team. Or you can visit my own profile on LinkedIn, which is obviously Warren Whitfield, where you can send me a direct question or a contact form or whatever it is on LinkedIn, a message, a DM, I suppose, isn't it? And then I can speak to you directly, no problem.
Great stuff. Warren, that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for spending the time. Really interesting to hear about you and your story.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for the invite. Appreciate it.